My name is John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. That's the name my mother and father gave me. I was basically kidnapped and replaced at around the age of 10 years old. Why did they do that? Money and power, people. I'm sharing what these evil people did. Why my father was assassinated. Why my uncle was assassinated for the whole world to see. And good morning to you all. I'm just getting fired up here on YouTube. I wanted to share some great things with everybody. The new book. It is on Lulu. It will be on Barnes and Nobles and hopefully on Amazon, but right now it is on Lulu. I'm asking each and every one of you for your support and at least go to the search engines. Type in Lulu, type in The Historian Tale, The Amazing Return of President Kennedy's Son by John F. Kennedy Jr. and Mary W. Maxwell. Please. I want my face right there, that ugly mug, this ugly mug. I want it to come up on the search engines when people type in John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. My face comes up. Why'd they do that? Why was I taken away? Why was I given a fake birth certificate? It was extortion, kidnapping, money, all about money. And I can't even get my birth certificate. Why can't I get my birth certificate for David Keith Quigley? Because it's a forgery. That name, yeah. My original birth certificate is the one they are holding that says John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. That is my birth certificate. It's probably got my footprint on it. I'm not sure. They started doing that in the 60s. It would be wonderful if it did have my footprint on it. That would be plenty of evidence right there alone. But what they do is horrendous. I was doing a live on YouTube here a couple days back, and I was on live on TikTok. TikTok removed me for me being me. That's what they do. They take my platforms down, and they are hindering justice, my justice, for wanting my name back, for exposing identity theft, for exposing the big M, pre-planned first degree, the big M, people in our government, all the way to the president of the United States of America, you know, our FBI and our Secret Service and our CIA, money launders, straight up billions of dollars. My father, John. Spam, more spam. Sorry about that. But yeah, sorry about that. I lost my train of thought. Love ACDC. Let's see on Facebook, because the other day I went on TikTok and I was doing a live. I probably had too many people that were getting this truth out, and they just took my account straight down. Many Lions try to share my account and get taken down. This book, this new book, huge achievement. They don't want one person, not one of you, to know this book, that I'm the real John F. Kennedy Jr. Why? Because it's exposing them all. You know, Donald Trump, I don't know where he's going off saying he's going to release my father's files, because what he would be releasing, if he does release them, I can tell you what it is. Our people in our government took my father down, took the Kennedys down so they could gain power within our government and place in our government who they wanted to. You know, when my father was executed by people within our government, we had a new president right away. It was the vice president. Right away. And it has not changed since, because it was this shift of power within our government. So when you see all the past presidents, they are all members of the same crime ring. They are the cabal. You hear the cabal? I'm telling you who they are. They're all at the top. All of them. All of them. I just copied a picture on Facebook from Bill and the famous. They should be all held accountable. They should be all held accountable for that photo op, because people lost their lives for a Hollywood movie. I was just sitting here and I watched a cowboy movie. I love watching old cowboy movies. Well, there was an Indian. I love playing cowboys and Indians too. You see my pictures of me with my toy guns and cap guns and my army guns and my helmets. They were teaching me young. But my point is, I was watching a cowboy movie, and there was an Indian and a cowboy, and then there was the Indians and cowboys, and they became friends. And at the end, the Indian was shot by the cavalry, and the guy was sitting there cleaning him up. His father was a chief. And anyway, it was a movie. It was all fake. It was all make-believe. But I was sitting there going, oh my God, they killed him. I can't believe they just killed him. They were blood brothers. And I was like, wow, that's Hollywood, people. It's all fake. It's all a make-believe story. But you're on the edge of your seat going, wow, like you're there. Like it really freaking happened. Guess what? That's what they want. To suck you in. That's Hollywood. That's our government. That's Hollywood within our government that can do things like that. If you haven't ever watched a movie and sat on the edge of your seat and got so far into it, people come into the room and talk to you and you don't even acknowledge them because you're so fucking sucked up into the movie. Anyway, I just asked Robin to write in one of my books because I never went to school, people. I was taught what I needed to know to survive. When I would go to school, it was for a few days at a time. I never could spell. But my mother, Jackie, would always give me these big fat books and tell me to read them all the time. She'd give me a big fat book in the middle of the night and say, I want you to have this read by morning. She taught me how to speed read, where you just run your finger across the words as fast as you can, and you just pick out the important words. I can't remember people's names. Why? Because I was taught not to remember people's names. If I knew someone's name and I was caught, tortured, or whatever, then I could say, hey, that was Tom that did that helped me that day. And my point is, where I'm going with all this, is our government, and I'm a personal eyewitness, and I have personal knowledge to MK Ultra. And I was sitting there watching that cowboy movie, and I started drifting off thinking of other things, but MK Ultra, if you have ever had surgery, if you have ever been put under the knife in a hospital, they put you out. You don't freaking remember nothing. MK Ultra is the same way. It is a tool of war. You can put somebody under MK Ultra and you can find out anything. I've been put under MK Ultra many, hundreds of times. Hundreds of times growing up. I didn't know who the bad guys were, who the good guys were. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of death. I've seen a lot of pain. I've seen a lot of people reaching out for help. Many. It's huge. MK Ultra is freaking huge, people. But it's a war. It's a tool of war. To explain MK Ultra, I had saved a friend's life. He had a motorcycle accident, and it was kind of like a mafia hit with MK Ultra. You can put somebody under MK Ultra and have them run their car off the road, have them have a head-on collision. It's a crazy freaking tool. But what the father did was he gave me a soda that had drugs in it. I drank the soda. I passed out. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in a freaking chair and I'm getting drilled by our CIA or Secret Service or whatever the fuck he was. I was a young kid, but they were pumping me for information. MK Ultra is a wonderful tool for our CIA and our Secret Service and all them because they can pump you for information. I thought I heard something outside for a second there. I'm sorry. They can pump you for information, and you wake up and you won't even know you just told on your best friend for whatever. I'm just making things up, you know. What have you done that they didn't want you to know? You'll tell them under MK Ultra. It is a huge, huge, powerful tool. Well, I have a little audience in here. I want to thank you all for your comments so very much. I try to get this story out to everyone all the time. My audience says 37 right now. How many do you really think should be up there rather than 37 on a Sunday, beautiful Sunday? I would think at least 3 million that want to hear the real John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., that they would want to hear about how the little boy that was doing the salute was kidnapped, was replaced by people within our very own government so they could steal money and power. You know, how many people, if you Googled how many people would want to know about the JFK files? I'm exposing that. I'm exposing my life of why my father was assassinated. I'm exposing my life why my uncle was assassinated. I'm exposing what they didn't tell you about my mother being assassinated. My very own mom being assassinated and replaced with identity theft. How come I only have, well, I have 49 viewers now, but thank you. It should have went up another million if it was if they really wanted it to get out. What am I exposing is so freaking big. It affects everybody around the world. I'm exposing why my father was assassinated, what they have been doing to achieve their power, and that's stealing from us. From everybody on here making comments, the governments are stealing from us so they can get rich, so they can buy their way into power, so they can cover up their crimes. And what's coming with my story is huge, people. What are they going to do? My story gets too big. What are they going to do? I'm waiting for it to happen. I hope you make it happen. I hope you share. I hope you share my story. And I just see a comment here that says, let's go to Trump. Here's the thing. You might not want to hear it. You've been brainwashed. You've been sitting there watching a movie. You've been watching photo ops. You've been watching Hollywood buy their way into government. What do they do? What do they do? They got one side, the Democratic Party in this instance, they're all a bunch of freaking losers. Well, who's the savior? Who's going to save us from all these freaking losers? The media puts Biden out there and he's slobbering on himself, drooling. He's like the worst president that could ever be president. But then you got Donald Trump, a Hollywood actor, a billionaire run by the cabal. He's the savior now. He's going to save us from that drooling fucker. But guess what? It's all the same crime ring, people. That's what I'm exposing. And you need to wake up to that. When you see a photo op like this and you see our Secret Service smiling like it's a joke while there's an active shooter, what's that make you think? People are dying. It's a joke to them. It's a movie. It's a Hollywood movie set. Why? Because they wanted Donald Trump to be in office, people. They wanted all his money and his power and his control. It's what they wanted. It's a planned. It's pre-planned. Just like my father. Just like my uncle. Just like me. It's pre-planned. Pre-planned first degree at the top of the crimes, and then identity theft. They pre-planned my mother's murder. They executed my mother. Then they used identity theft to steal my mother's money. They set her up with a Greek billionaire, Aristotle Onassis. It's all planned at the top, people. Then they unalived Aristotle Onassis. Then they siphoned off the billions and billions of dollars with the help of the man that stole my identity. Think about it. It's what I'm sharing to the world. It's what I'm trying. I have 64 viewers on here. I am sharing the story of the freaking century. Straight up, I am. I'm sharing I've taken DNA tests that no replies. Spent thousands of dollars. No replies. I'm sharing I got a fake birth certificate. David Quigley doesn't even exist. I'm sharing my last name is Quigley. The QAnon movement. It's all bullshit. I had been so many attempts on my life. I'm sharing I was on that plane when it crashed into the freaking ocean. They wanted us all dead that day. They wanted Bill Clinton, the president of the United States of America, wanted us all freaking dead that day. Not just George, his magazine, George Onassis, and his wife. Our CIA wanted us all freaking dead with the help of Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. They wanted us, that story, to die in the ocean. They wanted my story to die in the ocean that day. But yet, I have 67 wonderful, great lions. Don't get me wrong. But why is that not 6.7 million viewers? There's millions of people in this country that love this country. How come this story isn't getting out huge? So with that said, people, I just had a book come out. I was just told it is on Lulu. The Historian's Tale, The Amazing Return of President Kennedy's Son. The biggest freaking story of the century. And they don't want you to know it. Our government don't want you to know it. So do me a favor, Lions. Get your search bar. Type in The Historian Tale on Lulu. I want Google and everybody else, when you type in John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. for my face to come up. Please, let's get the truth out there. Let's expose what they have done with their criminal activity in our very own government. It is freaking huge. Got the Hells Angels right here. Bill Clinton declared these guys a criminal organization. Not only them, to others. Why did he do that? Why do you think he did that? Because they were hiding me out. They were keeping me alive. And they were dying to keep me alive. And our own government was throwing hand grenades in to try to blow my ass up. That's why Bill Clinton declared them criminals. I wrote a book about it right here. Stolen Identity. Google it. Search it. We're being hindered. We are being blocked. We're being shadow banned. And I need the truth out. I hate being a book salesman, like I said yesterday in my video. If you look at my live video yesterday, I shared my life, how I'm living. I found out, though, this book is on Lulu now. You can actually buy a copy of the new book. We're waiting for Barnes & Nobles to approve it and then Amazon to approve it. But right now it's on Lulu. You can get it, and it's very much appreciated. It really, really is, because it's getting the truth out. The front cover says it all right there. And we keep getting a handful of people knowing and a handful of people knowing, because they keep taking us down off of the platforms. I personally have sent hundreds and hundreds of freaking emails to Fox, ABC, NBC. It's all sewn up by the cabal, people. Fox News, Sean Hannity. I can guarantee you 100% he knows my story, because he went to school with me when I was young. He knows the real John Kennedy Jr., and he knows there was a fake John Kennedy Jr. And there's so many Donald Trumps out there right now. I knew Donald Trump. I knew Donald Trump. I was told Donald Trump was my cousin. He was my family. I can guarantee you the one in office knows my story now. How come they're not getting it out? How come? Think about it really, really freaking hard. How come? You know, I know how the government works, and I know the cover-ups that they do. They're the best at what they do. And with all things, they are. They really are. They have the best people working for them. You know, why do you think they have those tests in high school and everything else? Because they want to know who the smartest people is so they can pull them out and have them work for the government. And what do they call that? SATs? Something like that? I've seen it. I've seen how they work. They like to build their little armies. Thank you all so much for joining my live. Please share my live. Please. I get so busy around here and doing videos, and my motorbike is getting dust on it. It is absolutely getting dusty and dirty because I don't ride it anymore. I don't have fun things to do anymore. Like in this book, it says, I just want to go fishing. What do I want out of life? I want the American people to know the FBI, the JFK files. I want the American people, I want everybody around the world to know the story, the true story, why they killed my father and uncle and so on and so on, and cousins and aunts and uncles. It was the takeover of the families for the new world order. All the people are put in place now. They didn't want my father exposing what he wanted to expose. And what was he wanting to expose? That there was people in our government that wanted to enslave us all. And they have, people. You are so brainwashed, you don't realize it. That government, with all their fake lies and deception, with the help of Hollywood, are stealing us blind, robbing us, the American people, freaking blind. And what do I want? What's my purpose? What is my purpose in my life? That's to let you know my story. To be Paul Revere and say, hey, the evil ones are controlling us. It's all fake. Their closet is full of murders, deception, and theft. And yet they get on TV and they do this. And their closets are full of identity theft, pre-planned murder, and the theft of freaking billions and billions of dollars. It's huge. So like I was saying, this just came out on Lulu. You can get a copy on Lulu. But what's more important to me is the story getting out. Mary Maxwell did a wonderful job on this. She really did. She was in a hurry. Bless her heart. She flew here from back east a few months ago. She took time out to come here to interview me. We had a couple nice interviews. We've been chatting just about every day on the phone. But this is what breaks my heart. She would say, I got to hurry up and get your book out, John. I got to hurry up and get this out because they're going to kill me. They are going to unalive me. And I had to reassure her, no, they're not. You're protected. And now it's out. You imagine sharing the truth and be worried about people in our government taking your life for getting the truth out? I worry about it every day, but not really, because I'm protected. My post-traumatic stress disorder days are done. They really are. So if you can help me, this is on my Facebook page, and it's pinned to the very top. If you purchase this, please leave a review. Please. It's free advertisement. We're the little guy, they're the big guy, and we're just trying to get the frickin' story out to everybody in the world and make a better America, a better world for everybody. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to expose them for their satanic evil deeds, their kidnapping, their fake birth certificates, their torture, what they do to children. I'm not sugarcoating it, people. I was tortured so many times I didn't know who the good guys were and who the bad guys. They were both torturing me. They really were. But I'm here today, and just one person on here would be lucky to hear my story. And I have many. I have many on here now. I'm working hard doing it every day, trying to get the story out. So this is on Amazon. It's even on Barnes and Nobles. This is the new book, Historian Tale. Please Google it. Please make a video. You lions on TikTok. Like I said, I think it was the day before yesterday, I was holding this book up. I was on TikTok live and YouTube live here at the same time. And they freaking removed me on TikTok. So what I'm going to do right now, before I'm going to try to get on my phone and go live on Facebook. I made hundreds, literally hundreds of videos sharing my stories. I was getting into it. My son was alive then, and we'd sit here and I'd tell stories on my phone on Facebook. I had 5,000 friends on Facebook, and I'd go live. The only problem is every time I looked at the viewers, it said 1. Sometimes it said 2, or maybe 3. So I'd be live on there for hours sometimes sharing my stories, and I'd have 3 viewers. I started making up a few stories just to catch who was on Facebook, if it was the CIA or who was hindering me on Facebook. I even said, my name is John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. This was on one of my lives. I said, I'm John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. And then I said, tell you what, I'm going to catch some rats. I was like, listen up, people. I'm not John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. I'm a bastard. I said, I could be the son of Aristotle Onassis, a Greek billionaire. And then at the end of the video, I said, I am really John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. So I was kind of pulling some, I was going fishing is what it's called, trying to catch the bad guys in what they will advertise, like they did the Q movement. And like when I said, I'm John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., and I could shoot somebody in the street and walk back in my house and nothing would be done. Because if something was done and it made the news, they would have to expose that I'm John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. I said that publicly. And then guess who picked up on it and said it publicly? He got his ass in trouble, though, because he's not John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. I am. He's Donald Trump. So he said it. He said he could do that in the middle of the street in New York City and get away with it. Guess what? He can't. Because he's already out there. He's already out on the news every day in the public eye. News don't want to talk to me. They don't want my story out. That's why they keep me buried and hidden. We got to do a motorbike ride. I would love to do a motorbike ride. I was planning on doing a motorbike ride. I really was. I had 45,000 people on TikTok before they took me down. I was gaining hundreds of followers each and every day, but they took me down. My story got too big, and they didn't want my story out there. So the big guy won there, because if I do a motorbike ride, if I stop in Dallas to pay my respects where my father was executed, and then go to the JFK library, and then now I have 2 books to lay on my father's grave. 2. How come George Onassis, the John Kennedy Jr. that you all knew, was not buried, that was cremated and not buried next to my father? Think about that one. Why not? Why not? I don't even know if I'd want to be buried there, because I don't even know if it's my real father or not that's buried there, the way they switch around bodies. And like my mother was not even my mother from 1975 on. She was a member of the cabal, helping the cabal steal money, Kennedy money, still own NASA's money, millions of dollars. Why do you think George and Caroline, or I should say John and Caroline, sold all her possessions after she passed away? All my father's possessions, made millions of dollars doing it because they didn't care. It wasn't theirs. And who helped them do all that, people? Donald frickin' Trump. That's right. The savior that became president that's going to clean up the swamp. He's got so much shit in his closet, people. It's just one big Hollywood movie. It's all the cabal. You hear the freaking phrase, two wings, same fucking bird. It's no different. It really ain't. It's all a Hollywood movie. It's all Donald Trump is a puppet for these freaking organized crime members. He is their puppet. He is their cash tag. He is their moneymaker. He makes the laws but he's got to look good. Because, you had Biden that looked like a freaking idiot that was sleeping half the time. And how can people from other countries, how can Americans look at somebody like that and be proud of our president? They wanted it to happen. They wanted him to be the louse, the screw up. Why? Because inflation's going through the roof. They had to have somebody to blame. But then you have Donald Trump, the savior. It's all the same game, people. I can't express it enough. It's the same bird with two wings. You got Biden, you got Trump. One of them's got to be the savior. One of them's got to get all over the world news, free publicity. My story should be the story of the century. It really, really should. It should. I'm not looking forward to what happens. I'm pushing with everything I got to make my story come out so the whole world knows. I ain't looking forward to it when it does, though, people. It's not going to be fun for me with all these criminals up against me, fighting back, wanting to silence me for good. That's why I'm asking for your help to roar, share my story. Just came out on Lulu. Search it. Like I said, please get it out there. I want to do, when I first came out, I've been chatting my head off, but I wanted to see if I could get one more viewer on Facebook Live. So I got 5,000 friends. I just added some more people on my Facebook. It won't let me add any more. I'm totally full. You can follow me on Facebook. Let's see here. Photo or video. Live video. I'm going live on Facebook, people. My name on Facebook is David Quigley. Let's see what I have to do here. Tap to add a description. It's not letting me add nothing here. Share to. Share. Done. But it's not letting me add a description. Let's see here. I can text on the texts. Live on Facebook, the real John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. sharing his story. Please share it. See what that does. I got that speaking spell, so I'm always messing up, people. And it's still going. My bad. Says I'm going live on Facebook, people. Let's see how many people I can get. Because like I was saying, I did hundreds and hundreds of videos, live videos on Facebook. I was pulling a wagon around here. I didn't have wheels. So I was walking to the food banks and grocery stores with a wagon. I still got the sign out there, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. for 2020. But yeah, I was doing everything I possibly could to get my story out then. I still am now. Says I got one viewer. It says I'm live though. I'm going to set this right here. Oh, I got to spin it around. My bad. Let's see. How do I turn the camera around, people? X enhance, rotate. There we go. Boom. Live on Facebook. I got 2 viewers. I got 5,000 friends. I'm gaining a couple. We'll see if they share it or not on Facebook. But to you people on Facebook, I'm John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. I'm the only John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. The other ones are false flags. Straight up. They are false flags. They are to deceive you. People say, how come there's so many John Fitzgerald Kennedy Juniors? Because it's all bullshit. They don't want you to believe me. They don't want you to believe them. They're just thrown out there. But I'm sharing my new book. It was written by me and Mary Maxwell. Wonderful lady. That's her on the back, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful lady. She is so freaking smart. She's 77 years old. She's wonderful. She studied MK Ultra for years. Oh, I'm glad you found me on Facebook. Thank you so much. Please share it on Facebook with all your friends. I have 5,000 friends, and I get a few people on here. Please hit that share button, and that's how I'm going to get my story out. That's how I've been doing it for quite a few years. Just keep sharing. My story should be all over mainstream media. I encourage it. They should be talking about me in the Senate and in Congress. I encourage it. Donald Trump should be holding up my books. He should. He should be holding up these books right here and saying, my long lost cousin is alive. The other one was a fake. The other one was placed by organized crime to steal all that money. But he won't do it. So what's that make you think when he says he's going to release the JFK files? Yeah, they're still trying to approve it on Barnes and Nobles. I thank you for searching. I thank you for searching this book. They're still reading it and to approve it at Barnes and Nobles. Once it gets approved at Barnes and Nobles, I'm praying it does. It will go to Amazon. But right now, you can purchase this book on Lulu. It's $19.63. The year my father was assassinated, 1963. That's how much this book will be on Lulu. If you don't purchase this book, please search it for me. Let's get hundreds of people searching on Google for the historian tale, The Amazing Return of President Kennedy's Son, written by Mary Maxwell. A wonderful, smart, beautiful woman. She is totally awesome. I came out with this last year at the end of November. Stolen Identity, Unveiling the Real John Kennedy Jr. by John Kennedy Jr. It's been out a year. It's only got 460 reviews on Amazon, but please read the reviews. They're wonderful reviews on Amazon. This was written by me and Jackie Goldman, a ghostwriter. Why? I never went to school, people. I can spell cat, I can spell dog, and that's about it. I cannot spell. I was writing a note for help when I was kidnapped one day, and I was beat the hell out of and kicked on the freaking floor in the bathroom. When I would go to school to learn, I would space off and look out the window because I didn't get any sleep that night because I was under fucking MK Ultra. So I'd just sit in like a zombie in school, and half the time I wouldn't even go to school. But I learned to be street smart. I learned what they do and how they work and the bullshit they spread to you. and get you to believe. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate the comments, the kind words. I thank you for sharing. Like I said, I would love to have this held up. Elizabeth from Chicago, root her on. She's going to speak in front of the committee in Chicago, Illinois. And I just sent her a book. She said, send me a book. I'll hold it up when I go speak in front of the city of Chicago. She's going to hold my new book up. Everybody that gets a chance to hear the story of how our government is covering up murderers, kidnappers, people that have committed extortion, what they do. I'm not the only victim here, people. I am fighting for myself. I am fighting for justice for the fallen, the ones that have lost their lives in this war. But there's so many other victims of what they're doing, the kidnapping, the child trafficking. It's really huge. MK Ultra has really messed up a lot of people. And I consider myself an expert on MK Ultra. It's something you have to fight because they will plant ideas in your head. They really will. You got to think about what you say really hard before you say it, or you'll sound like a fucking crazy ass nut. You really will. Because they want it that way. They'll send you to the freaking mental hospital where their buddies will freaking say you are crazy. I was telling my doctors I'm John Kennedy Jr. They said, well, we want you to go to the mental facility. I said, really? I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe you should read my freaking book. You got to put your foot down, but think about what you say before you start talking crazy shit. Just say what you know in your heart, what you remember, what you believe. Don't make up stories that they put in your freaking head and every other thing. Wayne was my handler. Wayne was my protector. I was being tortured by the good and the bad, so I couldn't say Wayne was a good guy or Wayne was a bad guy. Wayne was the most powerful man I have ever met in my life. Wayne had papers for the CIA. He had papers for the Secret Service. He had papers for the White House. Wayne could walk into the freaking White House and tell the president what to do. So he had special Secret Service. He could blow somebody's freaking head off and get away with it as long as somebody wasn't watching him do it. And then he would have to work harder to get rid of those people that saw him do it. Wayne scares the shit out of me to this very day. So in all reality, Robin said, I would really like to meet Wayne. I said, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Just because meeting him might mean you end up dead. That's how Wayne was so powerful to do that. Wayne came up to me one time and he said, he was just testing me. He said, you know that weapon you have in your closet? And I said, yeah. And then I was wondering, how did he know it was in my closet? Well, then he said this. He said, I put that weapon in somebody's mouth and pulled the trigger and blew the back of their freaking head off. And he said, and then I put the weapon back in your closet. What are you going to do? Imagine somebody telling you that. You imagine somebody telling you what Wayne just told me, and knowing that man was so powerful he could put you in jail for the rest of your freaking life, that he could make you go to a court of law and have you on the death row. Or if you go there, he could have you executed in your jail cell. So would you really want to meet Wayne? I don't. It's really, I love the man, though. I love him, but I'd rather love him from a distance because I've seen how powerful Wayne is, and it's too crazy at the top. It really, really is. So, Wayne, if you're listening, I love you. I thank you for keeping me alive. I really do. But you just heard me. You scared the fuck out of me. Stay away. Anyway, yeah, I get really emotional. Sometimes people in power don't tell you how they run things. I'm sharing you how they run things. I really am. But yeah, my biggest thing today is letting everybody know. I don't want to drag this out because then people won't watch it. I'd hate being a book salesman because this book should sell itself. I'm trying to share the story. I'm the little guy. So this is how I'm selling my books, people. This is how I'm doing it. And I'm probably only making $2 for every book I sell. And I owe a lot of money to a lot of people for trying to get my story out with all my heart. Some of them say I don't owe them, but I'm not that way. If somebody does me a solid, I owe them. The Historian's Tale, The Amazing Return of President Kennedy's Son. It's on Lulu right now. So if I can get all 80 of you that are on here and the 22 of you that are on Facebook Live, please Google it. Write it down, the name right here, The Historian's Tale, and Google it. Put it in your search engines. Someday, that's what I'm fighting for. Someday, when you Google John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., this ugly mug is going to come up, and not the thief that stole my identity, not the man that was placed by organized crime, the cabal, the mafia, whatever you want to call them, to steal my fortunes and my family's fortunes. And you can make it happen. You lions can make it happen simply by doing simple stuff like that. I want to thank you all for all your support, all your love, all your comments. You're wonderful. You really, really are. You are so appreciated. Like I said, years ago, I was doing this and I'd have one or two people on Facebook Live. I made hundreds of videos. I'd have one or two people. Now I'm seeing on Facebook, I have got 24 people on there, and you all are appreciated so very much. I got 83 people here on YouTube. TikTok don't want to have anything to do with me. I was getting too big on TikTok. They keep deleting me. They delete everybody that holds my book up. Once again, on Amazon, see the reviews. See what people are talking about my book. And then this gets more into the MK Ultra, more into the legal type stuff. Mary Maxwell is a retired lawyer. She's beautiful, 77 years old, smart. She's a wonderful author. And she put this out there to share the story, to get it out there of all the victims of what's going on. So let's do a big solid into getting the story out, and just Google it, search it, Bing it, whatever you call it, whatever your search engines are. I want people to find me on the internet, because they're not going to find me on Fox News or CNN or ABC or any of the other major news networks. They're not going to find the real John Kennedy Jr. that, has survived, and his father was assassinated so they could be in control of what you are told. And you're not going to find it there. So we got to do it the old school way, the hard way. And God bless you all. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Me and Robin, thank you so very much. We appreciate you so very much. Yeah, DNA could tell, but we spent thousands of dollars and sent to a private lab with no reply. I took 5 DNA tests, people. 5. 4 of them came back different, and the real one we spent thousands of dollars on and sent hair samples of my father Came back with no reply. Nothing for our thousands of dollars. And a lot of that money was donated. So when people say DNA can prove it, I'll send you some DNA and see what results you get. You spend your thousands of dollars on, because I'm done DNA. I'm done. If people can't tell by the stories I'm sharing, can't look in my eyes, can't look at my big fat earlobes and see I'm the same child that was kidnapped and replaced after the age of 10, there's not much more I can do. Not much more I can do, people. God bless you. And please share, 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 share. God bless you all. Lions roar. Peace. Thank you all.